How's it going, guys? Slappy here again. And this one's going to be a little bit of a different video. I know it's not going to be org weekly related, because we're still in Juzo, and I'm now sitting at 175,000. But the premise of this video is going to be on basically how to build your units, because I've had a lot of people, will come to me and ask me about, hey, how come your unit is doing this much more damage than mine, but mine's this much, higher rating than yours? Basically meaning, mine's at a D+, they have, an A- or something like that. So, premise of this video is just going to be going over that stuff, and we're going to go start off with the easiest things and stuff. Is just your limits and bonds. So pretty much your limits are pretty self-explanatory. You just get your limit crystals, and then you got to get the enhancement stones, whichever one it calls for. Just level them up. That's plain and simple. You can get the limit crystals pretty much anywhere in the game. So whether it be like an advancement pack, you doing recruits and stuff, you can get them then. Crystals right here. So you have your crystal exchange. You can do one. You can do fucking a bunch of them. There's plus 50 for an SSR one. Then you have your other stuff, like your dailies. You have world boss that kind of gives you one. You got your duel for the gacha and stuff. They're right here. So there's a ton of different ways to get them just by playing the game. Promise you, you'll get a bunch over time. Then we're gonna go ahead and go to our bonds, which the only way really to get these most efficiently is doing the to do the exploration, which you're going to go ahead and go to combat, exploration, and then boom. So you look at the rewards, and then there's all the tablets and stuff that you're going to need. So pretty much just those are the easiest ways on how to do it all. Each character also, if you have all three of them activated too, they'll all have a special unique ultimate bond that they'll have. So just work on just getting all three of these, and then boom, you have an ultimate bond that you can just get at any point that you can. So, of course, levels and star upgrades are going to be the factors too, but the main premise is going to be your cells and your potentials. So we're going to go and start off with the cells. So cells, of course, that everybody knows is going to be in three different areas. We have our attack, we have our defense, and then we have our HP. Now, each unit, of course, the cells are going to be with random stats on them and stuff. The higher the rating, the more stat that you're going to get. 90 and higher is what you're going to really want to shoot for, since 90 and higher is how you're going to get the 4 substats. Here's a UR cell, but it's only 86, and you only have 3. So shooting for 90 or higher is going to be the most ideal. Now, if you don't have anything for that and stuff, just try to find something else that you can work with. For example, this right here is going to be not too bad. For a start, you've got double penetration rate and you've got crit resist. So you can use this right here for the penetration rate and then be fine until you get something better. So that's normally what you're going to want to focus with. Now in the bottom left hand corner, you're going to look at these show equipped cells, and everything, of course, is going to get shown to you. So if you're going to look for a specific stat for a specific unit and stuff, whether it be attack, crit rate, crit damage, HP, that kind of thing. For Ayato, what we're going to do is we're going to go and filter out by attack, because he's a attack unit. So we'll filter it out by attack bonus. And every single cell that has at least one attack stat on it, like this right here, is going to be shown. So a lot of times you're going to want to focus certain traits for certain units and stuff. Most of the time you're going to want to find attack and crit damage and stuff, because you're going to want your damage dealers to be able to carry you and anything that you're doing, whether it be a world boss, org weekly, chain campaign, stronghold whenever that comes back out, that kind of stuff. Each cell also has a random effect for modification if you are able to modify it. So to modify it, you're going to need these cell promoters, which I'm not going to lie are kind of a pain to get. You can mainly get them from the exchange and the exchange in the carnival, or you can get them from if you're in a duel or whatever, a conquest type thing, like this right here, for example. I just said duel because of this. That's what this is. Go ahead and go to exchange, and you can get them right here too. So those are really going to be your only ways to getting them. Other than that, it's pretty much one of those slightly paid type currency type things, which I'm trying to get you guys all the free to play aspect stuff for it. So, but that's how you're going to find those. And all of the different And it's also only UR cells too, by the way, that can be modified. So if we modify them and stuff, when we go to modification skill, you have a random chance of getting any of these stats. The most noted ones to look for are attack related stat boost, buff removal, disruption, and basic stat boosts. Those are probably going to be the primaries you're going to want to focus on because those are used in every single aspect of the game. Now, certain units, of course, work better with a certain modification. Like, for example, if you have a Kiramato, because of how much defense that she basically generates for your team, she's used mainly in the arena, you're going to want to have her mainly with kind of like a buff removal. So, whenever, like, if you're against an enemy and stuff that increases, like, a certain stat, boom, you can remove that buff. So, that's a lot of times what you'll try to find and focus with, but most of the time, try to find, like, or try to obtain, like, the attacks, the basic stats, disruptions, and so forth. When it comes to another unit, for example, like we got Adima right here, you're going to want to focus with a bunch of different, like, utility stuff. So, like, of course, yeah, try to focus, like, attack and everything like that. But, like, you want to try to help him also with, like, HP. You want to try to make sure he's a bit more defensive because he is a shield unit. I believe his shield only really works, though, if you have him at 1 star, which I do. Yeah, group shield. Dealing damage grants all shields shield equivalent to 20% for 2 turns. So that's what we're going to try to, like, focus on. I know his defense is low right now, but I did just move a ton of stuff around. So, but, like, so if we go over here and stuff, we'll go over here to defense bonus. And then pretty much that's what you'll just try to find. You'll just try to find a bunch of defense stuff. Since I don't really have, like, a lot that I would warrant with him, I don't really focus him as a defenser right now. I've been using him mainly as an attack because I've been also doing a ton of chain campaigns, and I'm sitting right now at 325, so it's a little more difficult. I want to be able to do as much damage as I can. So that's also why I've got, like, a lot of, like, penetration rates and stuff. This is actually a pretty decent cell, not gonna lie. But, like, stuff with him and stuff, that's what you'll find. And then, like, you have, like, Hinami, you have Atori, and you have Akira Mato that you're going to want to possibly try to go with, like, a lot more on, like, what is it, like, crit rate, or not crit rate, but penetration rate. You're going to want to try to maybe get, like, a little more defense, HP, lifesteal, that kind of thing, because she is a support. She's more of a support unit. So right here, okay, I've got crit damage, I've got block chance, I got restoration rate, like that kind of stuff. I got a bunch of more life steals, restoration rate, life steal, penetration, HP. So that's a lot of times what I focus with on Akira and, like, Atori and stuff. Atori is mainly just a buffer. I just got her recently, so she's, like, not really built. So I kind of just threw some stuff on her. But, like, pretty much all she does is she doesn't even attack. She's just pure buff, and mainly for the strength units, but a buff nonetheless. So focus her with, like, HP, defense, that kind of stuff. Then you have Hinami, which I believe she's currently the only healer right now in the game. I don't have her built to where I would like her right now as it is as well, but you would want her with, like, restoration rate. You would want her with regeneration rate because she is a healer. So, and so right there, I don't have any, like, restoration, or I don't have any of that. I probably do, but it's just it wasn't selected. Yeah, okay, so I do. Okay, so, like, that right there would probably be good for her, because the defense is double rate. And then I've got this right here with double rate, and so forth. So, I believe that it's going to knock out all of the cell stuff, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to potentials, since potentials are kind of, like, the more annoying thing to get. There are 6 different type of potentials. There's no way for me to pull them up on the screen like I did with the cells, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to find one of each and then describe it right then and there. So we have my personal favorite, which is Initiate. Initiate completely increases your basic stats for 4% for 1 turn, and if you have a combination of 6, it's going to be 6% for 2 turns, which is really good for your attackers. Any attacker will utilize those tremendously. Then you have Potent, which is using the ultimate skill increases basic stats by 5% for a turn, and then if you have 6, it'll be 8%. So again, another thing for your attackers, because if you're doing like world boss and stuff, I'm sure at some point you're going to be using your ultimate. Then in the chain campaign, if you have co-op and stuff, you use that one, and RTA and arena, yada yada yada. You know, anywhere that you get a chance to use your ultimate, that's going to be really good as well. So now people always like to kind of like tell me that like one of each is best when it comes to like, what I mean by like one of best is like defense, HP, and then attack. So pretty much you have like one for each line. Whereas of right now, this is pretty much what we're looking at for the lines. So one of each and stuff, I'm going to be getting 4% each for attack, defense, and then 6% on the HP. But because I've got 8 and stuff, I'm getting 5%. People don't find it that worth it. However, I beg to differ. Certain units are going to be used differently. So these ones right here give me all different, like, it give me all attack. So the first 3 is 80. So I got 80, 80, 80, that's 240. Then I've got another 80, 80, 80, that's another 240. And then, you know, another 80, so it's 240. So 240 times 3, yada, yada, yada. So that's how much more attack I'm getting, just based off of that alone. Which is crazy. Sorry. Pretty sure I'm starting to get a little sick, but that's alright. It's just the weather. Anyways, so with that right there being done for Ayato, we're going to go over here to Kisho Arima. I have him a little more differently, because I tried making this, of course, you know, earlier, and it didn't really work out. My shit kept bugging. So, anyways, so this here's what I mean right here, okay? So we have 4%, 4%, and then 6% for each, with one of each. Now, of course, I don't really see this being used for like a lot of different units. Now, Arima here is an exception because, again, you want him to kind of, you know, he can do a little bit of damage. You want him to stay healthy, and you want him to defense your team. It'll be the same thing with Akira Mado. I'm pretty sure she would be pretty much running the same thing. She's a defense type unit and stuff, buffs your team with a bunch of defense. She is an AoE hitter, and you want to try to keep her alive. So, just the kind like those kinds of units and stuff that you would focus with. I'm pretty sure I don't have his done yet either. Okay, so they're kind of done, but they're kind of not. So, anyways, Owl here just came on out. He's used in mainly in Ontaku trees, and he is basically just a heal based unit. So that's why I have him pretty much based on that. Same thing with Hinami. She's going to be pretty much like a mainly based healed unit and stuff, but I don't really have her potentials and stuff up. Let's go and just do those just to kind of get a little more unlocked. I'm just going to auto it. Okay, and that's what it gives me. That's fine for right now. Like, you know, I don't really find it that important for characters that aren't fully potential opened. And then same thing with Atori and stuff. You'd want to focus like defense and HP with her. I just basically just threw on an auto, and that's what it gave me. The way and how you get cells and potentials and stuff also, I probably should have explained those earlier. But a lot of these are kind of just given out just by the game and stuff. So like you can go to here to exchange, go to Crystal, and you can get potentials and stuff that way. You can get one potential level 4 from doing an SSR. If you have 3 SRs, you can get 1 per for a level 3. Nothing for the regulars, unfortunately. There is a box, I think okay. I thought there was a box in there that you could get. But if you go over here to the region breakthrough and stuff, and if you go to the weekly rewards and stuff, you can get the super potential box, which gives you a 3 or 4, that kind of thing. You can also get boxes and stuff through this little gacha system here in the duel. Like there's level 1 boxes right there. If you go to research, whatever you have, the lower ones, you can use those just to increase. So I'll just do a batch of this. So we'll just do all of these because I don't use any level 2s. Boom. So 5 for 1. And that's pretty much how it's going to be throughout the entire thing. I'm not going to do any level 4s right now because I don't want to do all of them and not have any for later on. If we go over here to Ontaku, this is one of the areas where you can get some cells. You go to checkout, and then right here is if you get a random RC cell right here. So we'll just check that out real quick, and then we get a random cell. So that's one way to get random cells. You can get more cells also by doing arena, because it's going to be your pretty much like whenever like you finish your rewards, daily rewards is right here. You're gonna get 3 UR cells for finishing in first place. So that's actually kind of how I have like a lot of mine. This one here is not going to really give you much of anything. It's just going to be like a bunch of fragments. There is a box right here too that you can get. I think it's weekly. Yeah, it's weekly. Here, okay. Actually, I'm gonna go and do one of it. Let's just go and see what I get. So go to nope, not exchange, backpack, consumable. Oh, we're gonna actually go ahead and do these because the new one here will open up pretty soon. So get a bunch of cells if you have those caskets, and they're all gonna be basically strength related. So yeah, they're not gonna be very good. So we'll get rid of those in the future. So we have some advanced potential boxes just from daily stuff being in a higher rank and higher level. And we have the super one. Okay, so I didn't really get one that I wanted, but that's right. So pretty much that's what you're gonna do to kind of build up your units. Focus with whatever you think you might need or want. Definitely focus on like the attacking units being more attacking with your potentials and cells, just having like high attack on everything. Like that's what I personally feel. Some people may beg to differ for the potentials, but I mean, play the game how you want. I'm just kind of showing you like what I feel like people should do if they want to get a little higher, or kind of showing what I do that works out for me if somebody might be confused on something. So like just all of that, just like a lot of things to probably consider. But of course, play and build however you want. Just if you're having issues and stuff, I feel like that's probably the best way to go about it and stuff, is to focus units with certain aspects with the cells, certain aspects with the potentials, that kind of thing. So, but again, I know this was a completely different video than what I'm used to, guys. But I appreciate y'all for watching. I hope this helps out a lot of you guys, kind of get out of struggling situations. But until next time, I will see you guys in another video. Take care.